Hello and welcome to Talking Movies at PenTV. I'm Cody Simmons, here with Garett Weston Thomas, the program director and studio manager here at PenTV, also an indie filmmaker himself. Hi, Garett. How you doing?
Doing pretty well. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo. Well, let's just start off with your background. Who are you in relation to film? Who are you?
Who am I? That's a good question. Well, in this multiverse, I am really just a lifelong filmmaker. And one day I just happened to try to volunteer here at PenTV. And they let me in, and I've been here ever since. So that was a little more than 7 years ago. But prior to that, I went to CSU Monterey Bay with the major of teledramatic arts and technology. That's just a big word for filmmaking, but it's not even a real word, so you don't have to worry about that.
It's not real?
No, I think they've actually changed the word to cinematic arts at this point. But
Nice.
yeah, so I've been doing this for much earlier than that. So in middle school, I was a 2-time national finalist in the National Children's Film Festival. And at this point, I've made more than 60 independent projects. One of them got to be shown up in San Francisco theatrically, and I make several movies that have either used crowdfunding sources and been distributed with Firewall, and I have a vlog on YouTube as well. So point, shoot, and eat. Go see it.
All right, well, validated as a knowledgeable man of the movies. So you host an Oscar party every year, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
It'll be either just at my house at this point, but yeah, it started back in college, really. So I'd get various people together, and we'd have some sort of Oscar competition about which picture was going to win. So
Nice.
It's been almost a decade long since then.
Nice. Well, we just found out today the nominees.
This morning.
This morning at 5
Been a long
a.m.
day.
Garrett was up early.
5:18.
And well, what are they? Let's start with Best Picture.
Okay, so for Best Picture, if I can remember all 9, it was Arrival, La La Land, Moonlight, Hacksaw Ridge, Manchester by the Sea, Fences, Hidden Figures, Hell, High Water, and Lion.
Have you seen any of them?
Some of them.
Yes.
You might have even seen more than I have.
Yeah.
I know I tried to see a movie last night, Sully, but I don't think that they gave it anything more than Best Sound Effects nomination. I was hoping they'd give Tom Hanks a little bit more respect this year because they forgot about him for Captain Phillips a few years ago. But you know, I was thinking maybe he'd turn into one of those actors like Meryl Streep, who was nominated again this year, or Jack Nicholson, where they might get like at least one nomination every decade. But he hasn't been nominated since Castaway, 2000. So, but oh well.
All right. Well, there's 9 of them. Are there always 9 nominees for Best Picture?
No, there are not. But there used to always be 5, and they stopped doing just 5 because in 2008, The Dark Knight, the sequel for the Batman remake films from Christopher Nolan, did not get a nomination. And so many people were riled up about that, even though it got 8 nominations, that there was sort of a revolt. And so after that, the Academy decided to always do between 5 and 10. I don't think they've ever gone up to 10 so far, but there usually were at least 8.
Yeah.
So they did 9 this year.
Respect. And what do you think, which films do you think have the best chance of winning this year?
Well, that kind of comes down to a few things. So first, we have La La Land, which was really a groundbreaking film in that it earned a tie for the most nominations ever. So it's competing along with films like Titanic and All About Eve for having 14 nominations, the most any film has ever earned. The other 2 pictures that have the second most nominations with 8 each are Moonlight and Arrival. So if you're looking at nominations alone, La La Land is really the one to beat. But then you might have to think about which pictures have earned the directorial nominations. So those included Mel Gibson, he's back in the picture here, for Hacksaw Ridge. He was once a Best Director winner, so you have to remember that. I think he's trying to, earn some levy back. So.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny he makes some amazing movies.
Yeah, and Andrew Garfield, he was, trying to be a superhero for a little while with Spider-Man. It may or may not have worked, but,
I thought it did.
Good for you.
I don't know.
To each their own.
I was surprised I liked it, actually.
Movies are always subjective.
Yeah.
It's not, like an engineering feat, kind of where it's all mathematical, So, but he was really good in The Social Network, and that's what introduced him to the world in the first place. So, so we have Mel Gibson for directorial. We also have Denis Villeneuve for Arrival. And then I really think the two that are going to be head-to-head with directors and for Best Picture as well will be Damien Chazelle for La La Land and Barry Jenkins for Moonlight.
And which one's better?
That's really hard to say. But they're such different films. And so I haven't made my decision yet. So with La La Land, I mean, it's almost like there's an alternate reality because, aside from them always kind of just breaking out into song, there are various editing sequences that almost kind of repeat the same moment, but sometimes it will be one version of it, and sometimes it'll be another version of it. And then with Moonlight, they've edited it in such a way that they kind of go through three different acts, so to speak, of a child's life growing up. And so he is wondering who he is in the Atlanta, Miami region, and a little bit back in the past, but not more than like the 80s or so. But it's entirely in an African-American community. He's trying to figure out who the heck he is. And he knows by the third act, definitely, but he always has like a different name. So the first act is called Little, the second act is Sharon, the third act he's called Black. And it just takes him some time. He's kind of an introvert, but he eventually finds a fatherly figure because his real father is who knows where, and his mom, kind of a drug addict. So Naomi Harris is one of the three African-American supporting actresses. The first time in 89 years, 3 out of 5 colored actresses are nominated for supporting actor. So we've got some real groundbreaking stuff going on here. It's not another year of Oscars so white, so just remember that.
Yeah, I think that's important too, and like Hidden Figures,
yes,
again, up for Best Picture, top of the box office right now.
Hidden Figures, big.
3 black women as the leads, and a great film.
So go see that. I still need to.
Yeah.
Maybe you can join us.
But the correct answer was La La Land, Best Picture. It will win.
It's going to be super hard to beat. It won 7 Golden Globes. The Golden Globes are actually very significant this year because not only did La La Land win 7, the most ever for any film, period, Meryl Streep also made a very significant speech when she won their annual significant award that they give out to a single celebrity. And she used that time to call out Donald Trump. And I think by earning her yet another award nomination this year, I kind of think they gave it to her versus, just another actress, whether it be like Amy Adams, who was not nominated despite 8 nominations for Arrival. Just out of sort of gratitude that someone like her is willing to speak up for other actors. And so, I respect that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need people saying, grab him by the cheeks-a-rone. You got to speak up for that. I respect that.
Yeah, good honor. All right, let's go to, let's talk about the Best Actor and Actress briefly. Who do you think should win?
Well, again, if it's coming down to the La La Land versus Moonlight, well, first you don't have Moonlight for Best Actor per se, so that's out of the picture. But you have Ryan Gosling, and I'm a little bit swayed by the Hey Girl kind of thing, but I don't know if he's necessarily going to win. But the other big picture for Best Actor, I think if Manchester by the Sea is going to win anything, I did see that with you the other day, and it was you got to do some stuff for work, so we might be able to put this on our tax returns. I don't know, but I think it's a little bit of a Debbie Downer, at least a little bit. It's kind of someone passes away, and you know, it's worth seeing once. Some
It's a
movies,
good performance.
It's a fantastic, very three-dimensional performance. It's not like someone's just reading robotic lines or it's
I
not
will
like
say that
But,
I think his performance is more nuanced than Ryan Gosling.
Sure.
I mean, I think La La Land's a fantastic film, but he's playing it.
But there's
pretty
another
easy.
reason why I think Casey Affleck might earn it aside from the performance itself. And it has something to do with one word, Argo. So many years, not too many years ago, there was this little happening where Ben Affleck got all of these accolades for directing Argo, but then the Academy did not nominate him. It still won Best Picture. So I'm almost wondering if it's an apology for the Affleck family. So the last time a picture won Best Picture without having a directorial nomination was Driving Miss Daisy back in 1989, the year my sister was born. So I don't know if this is something that happens all the time, but I think he even won the Directors Guild Award, and he won the Golden Globe and all these other things, but the Academy ignored him. So I think it's a little bit of an apology.
Give it to his little bro.
Yeah, something like that.
And I know we talked about this briefly, but we haven't seen many of the films that the Best Actresses are nominated in.
Probably not.
So we don't know what to say.
Yeah, and I actually thought there would be a little bit more of a recognition for the Jackie film with Natalie Portman, because she could be a two-time winner. There have been many actresses that have actually won twice. She's won once before. But the actress that is probably the one to beat, because she did win the Golden Globe, was Isabelle Huppert for the film Elle. It's a foreign film, and I believe that director has not made a whole lot of really Academy-worthy films, but he's made certain ones like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
And I can't say I've seen that, but.
Well, let's talk about something we can speak to. What do you think the Academy overlooked this year?
Okay, well, I would definitely say, because first there's a lack of Tom Hanks nomination, I would say Sully. But there also were some really great films that I think were just ignored entirely. So they did not recognize the Richard Linklater film Everybody Wants Some. That was sort of like his follow-up to Dazed and Confused. I think it came out maybe like April or May this past year. And it's sort of basically set in like 1980, so they nailed these dated costumes down perfectly. But it's about this group of guys that are about to start college. And you see them in the days that are like leading up to the very first day. And they're like a team of like baseball players, and so you get to see all the nuances of the characters, and it's not really about a plot line anyway, but that's just sort of like a trademark of Linklater to begin with.
Yeah.
And then
You think it's up there with the best of them?
it's close.
Yeah.
It's close. But Boyhood was just great, so I still think the Academy made a wrong decision a few years ago. But I think the #1 picture by far was Swiss Army Man.
I agree with you.
It's fantastic. So I really don't know what they were thinking when they didn't even touch that one. But that has a zombie version of Daniel Radcliffe, the Harry Potter guy, who's not Harry Potter here. So if you're trying to see Harry Potter, don't go see Swiss Army Man. But it has him in it, and Paul Dano from Little Miss Sunshine, and There Will Be Blood. And they just are interacting on this island in just a fantastic way. So some people might not like the oddities about it, but if you can get past certain gaseous facts about it that actually propel the story forward, then
Quite literally.
you might enjoy this piece.
Yeah, no, that's a good movie. I think it definitely gets overlooked because of the flatulence.
Perhaps.
But it is top.
It's very enjoyable. It's almost laugh out loud funny in certain scenes.
It's funny and it's beautiful all around.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's good then. Well, on the other hand of that, do you think any films got too many nominations?
In some respects, I think there was a movie called Hail Caesar, Now, I haven't seen that, and I don't think I ever will see that. I think movies like that were probably sort of like a paycheck movie. So I think, when you have such supposedly stellar casts with like George Clooney and Tilda Swinton, and
It received a bunch of nominations?
it didn't receive a bunch of nominations, but did it need to receive any? I don't know. But I just I think of that as
I've heard it was
here's your
really good.
paycheck, go star in this. But
No?
and Channing
I guess we don't
Tatum and
know.
all these people, if you're going to line up all these great actors, let's give them some good lines. I don't see that as something that's worth my time per se.
Sure.
But if someone enjoys that, fine. It's your cup of tea. It's not mine.
Okay. Well, let's do this. What are your top 3 favorites of the year, regardless of nominations? Top 3 movies.
Well, 2 of them are definitely the Everybody Wants Some and the Swiss Army Man. But the one that I didn't get to say, which was probably also overlooked, I will say Deadpool. I was kind of surprised that wasn't nominated at all either. But there was still a lot of talk that there could have been a nomination for Ryan Reynolds, because he finally was in a superhero movie that worked. He was in one that didn't work before, and I'm not even going to name it, but yeah.
They actually mention it in Deadpool.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. The
So-
whole movie's very meta.
Yes.
It was funny. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
Well,
it's still good.
I'm not going to.
As far as superhero movies, it's like the first interesting thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, so it was very, very funny and more touching than I was expecting it to be. And so, yeah, I think there actually was a lot more just in this conversation. I'm noticing that there was a lot made last year that was really worthwhile.
Yeah.
And so, there can be, a lot of bullpucky that's made in a certain year, but, there actually was a lot of good stuff made last year.
Okay. Well, we're getting deep here.
And it really does help to live very close to a theater. I just live like maybe, 10 blocks away from the Alamo Cinema where I live in SF. So it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt.
Well, and speaking to that, in the new age of television on demand, why do you think the movies still matter, the Academy Awards still matter? So many quality serial television shows.
There's multitude of reasons, but one of them would be there are certain movies that are making the social commentary right now about why they want to preserve what the old movies were initially trying to do. So whether you're referring to movies like The Artist or Hugo or even La La Land, they're making a statement about how things were in times past, and if we're going to try to get rid of this dying art, then this is how things will look in the future without this art form. So we need to recognize how they were and enjoy it like that still. And then also, I think if and this has already begun for sure, if movies are continuing the trend of having theaters rid themselves of actual film for, dare I say, 4K digital, they're wiping the original technological process away from what people are familiar with anymore. Fujifilm is practically a thing of the past. Kodak, all that stuff. I know I was looking through my room and uncovering this old camera the other day, and I was amazed it still even had film in it. But I was probably a little kid when I still had it in there, so I don't even know if it's any good anymore.
You should use that.
But this stuff, it's ancient technology, but if you still can get your hands on it, it's what the original stuff was about. So if you're just using all digital at this point, it's not what it all started with.
True dat.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up on this one. What are some of your hopes for the future of the Academy Awards?
Well, one thing I was really, really happy about this year was just the fact that they were finally voiding themselves of the whole Oscar so white campaign, because last year was just disgusting. So I'm hoping that that whole trend will continue with them introducing even more actors, like even Dev Patel this year. He's probably only the third Indian American actor ever nominated for acting at all. So I just hope that they continue that trend. I know that Academy President Cheryl Boone Isaacs introduced a whole slew more of colored people into the Academy for the voting branches. I think they usually only insert so many people per year, but because they wanted to make a statement, they added just a whole lot more than normal as part of their policy. So that was great. I also think we all need to pay a lot more attention to the documentaries that are about to start coming out over the next 4 years, because
Sure, that's true.
if we don't pay attention and start speaking up, then who else will?
I think you're right about all that. Well, thanks for talking to me, Garrett, and thanks for watching. I'm Cody Simmons. I'll see you at the movies.